Good morning. Day 422, and we're about to get started on mobility this morning. For those of you watching, my name is Toby. I am 41 years old and I train to live an active, self-sufficient and adventurous life. I do so by minding my sleep, minding what I eat, and showing up for some strength, conditioning and mobility training throughout the week, about 30 to 45 minutes every day, which we do here on a live stream. This is not about the way I feel. This is not about the way I feel. This is not about the way I look. This is about the way I feel. I want to feel fit, competent, and capable for whatever life throws at me. So I would like to be able to, for example, carry 2 suitcases when I go on holidays without risk of hurting my back. I would like to be able to stow the suitcases overhead. I would like to be able to run after my children up and down a mountain or lift them up and play with them. I would like to be able to keep up with a busy 8-hour workday, but also have energy at the beginning and at the end of the day to spend time with my family. And just generally be able to take care of myself throughout life, because I understand we are going to get older. We're not necessarily getting older free of disease and discomfort. But a lot of lifestyle choices we're making today will have a big impact on our long-term health and fitness and ability to actually go about our lives the way we want to, a bit carefree and without concern, so to speak. So that's why I'm here. Today we're going to do mobility. I'm going to hit a timer and we're going to get started. 40 seconds of the activity, 5 seconds to switch to the next one. We're just going to go through a whole flow. Once we're done with that, I'm going to do some core workout just to strengthen that core stability for life and also for the kettlebell training and weight training that we do on the other days. Remember that we're good just the way we are. We've got to love ourselves before we can move on. This person we are today is going to get us to where we want to go tomorrow. So a bit of kindness is going to go a long way in helping us get to where we want to be. There are enough people out there who want to put us down, so let's lift ourselves up, all right? And the only way to get anything done, friend, is by showing up and doing the work. So it is 5:25, I think, in the morning. I'm going to hit the timer, and we are going to get started. And we're just going to start with some walkouts where we are just checking in with the body, how it is actually moving and feeling about moving today. And it seems that everything is going all right. I missed yesterday's stream, by the way. Don't think anyone noticed, but I ended up watching TV from midnight till 3 a.m. because one of the children woke up from a nightmare right around midnight. And sadly, after that, they fell back asleep. But I wasn't able to. So I decided that when I went back to bed at 3, that if I would wake up at 5 on rhythm, I would go downstairs and do my workout. If I slept through, I would wake up when the kids would wake up, and we could have the sleep that I needed to. So, I guess the answer's clear. I ended up sleeping through, not waking up, and that was that. And sometimes that's completely alright. You just notice on a day like that, everything goes a bit slower. I did do a little bit of hanging from the pull-up bar at work. And I was coaching a colleague on kettlebell. So I did some physical work, but not the 200 swings that were scheduled. I will do that tomorrow. Sometimes taking a day off is good for us as well. All right, still working on that neck. And why? Because we have all these joints and muscles that have a full range of motion that generally, if you think about what you do in life, you don't really use everything the way it's intended. But for these 45 minutes, we are using as much of our body's capacity to move as we can, and we're doing a bit more every day. Just mobilizing, and making sure that we are able to actually keep moving as we go through life. I don't know about you, but I spend a lot of the day actually just sitting. And turning my hamstrings into pancakes. I read somewhere recently. I think we do ourselves some favors by waking up and activating our body, and also throughout the day, finding ways to move. I have taken to walks during the day out in the sun, even if it is just 10 minutes, but preferably certain types of meetings, conversations we can do. Walking and talking, because not only does walking help us tremendously in terms of cardiovascular health, but it is also a way to activate a lot of the muscles, tendons, joints in our bodies in a low impact, easily accessible way, which overall should support our drive for mobility, which is something else we want. We want to be able to move I'm going to continue with this one, as it's a nice, comfortable stretch. So hey, it's Thursday. It's another week gone. We are going to go into the last week of February. That means 2 months out of 12 for this year will have passed. And where have you stood on your health and fitness journey? What strides have you taken this year? I know a lot of us between January 15th and February 15th falter. So it's a good time to check in with ourselves and to discuss, realistically, which goals are we going to be able to pursue? Which goals should we adjust, completely abandon? And how many goals should we take on? The answer, of course, is one at a time. And the goals would break down into 3 broad categories. Either we're working on our sleep, we are working on what we're eating, or we're working on the level of physical activity we enjoy in a day or day to day. Now, if you think about that, yeah, you might find that you were trying to do all at the same time. You wanted to sleep more, change your entire diet, and you wanted to exercise more. But between all of the responsibilities, commitments, that you have, it's proven impossible to actually find that time to do all 3 well. So it also felt like a bit much, like giving up your evening TV and those 4 nights a week out with friends to really work on your sleep. Even though you did manage to do a dry January, maybe. But all of those new recipes that you needed to master suddenly because some website or some YouTuber told you, some Instagram influencer told you that they were really healthy. You even bought their cookbook or their cooking course. And it's impossible because suddenly you need all of these ingredients that you don't generally stock in your kitchen. So you don't really have all of the foods that you think you want to be having. And besides, all this health food leaves you a bit peckish throughout the day, and you don't feel you have the same levels of energy you had before. which is not surprising because maybe you're in a slight calorie deficit. So you find yourself snacking more and more and more, despite your best intentions. And then, of course, your workouts are fun, but those quick gains that you started to see the first 2 or 3 weeks of January, oh, now it's becoming a bit of a grind. Like, is this really it? Isn't it supposed to work differently? Aren't you supposed to just keep getting healthier and fitter by putting in the effort? And of course, you know where all of this is going, right? You've just tried to take on too much in one go, and because you're trying to do everything at once, we are failing at everything at once. Some things might stick, that's positive. Other things will absolutely not stick, no matter how much effort you are trying to put into them. So hey, what can we say? The changes you want to implement, you want to take them week by week or month by month at first. So you want to do one thing differently this week, whether it's sleep, nutrition, or exercise. And then the week after, you want to do one more thing differently. And then the week after, if you feel you've succeeded at the first two things you were trying to change, you want to do one more thing differently. And the changes should be subtle, small changes. For example, with sleep, trying to find that regular bedtime or that regular waking time, trying to find where that lies for you. With nutrition, that is figuring out for that one meal. We're just going to continue with the cat and cow, by the way. Figuring out that one meal, whether that is breakfast, lunch, or dinner, that you can take more control of and make as healthy as you think it needs to be by changing the amount of energy consumed, the balance between the macronutrients, by adding protein to the meal, by making it lighter, slightly different. So those are things that you can consider and think about. in terms of making the changes. See, the big difference is you won't see a lot of immediate results with this style of change. But over time, you'll have a lot more results that actually stick. Yeah. And a lot more results that actually stick. And you'll see that it is that consistency over time of making little changes that'll start to cascade into bigger and better results by the end of the year. But it is so much easier to try to go all in one go, and then all in again, and then all in again, but wondering why structurally you keep seeing results, losing results, seeing results, losing results. Because being generally fit and healthy is actually very tedious and boring, because it requires a rhythm, regularity, repetition. And you've seen it here on this channel. There is some variety in what I do. By the way, I'm now working on the mobility on the right side of my hip. Maybe you can see, or maybe not, the way I'm forcing it to move. I'm going to do it on the left side as well. Trying to create a bit more space for the hip joint to move well. Different mobilizations. So, changing little things, changing gradually, slowly finding the improvements, because we'll benefit more in the long run of having a whole bunch of little habits and routines that stick throughout the day than that we have 2 months or 1 month of heavy working out followed by a period of nothing, followed by another month of working out, followed by a period of nothing, where we just focus on the exercise and not on nutrition and sleep. I'm not saying you're not going to see results, just saying the results are likely not going to last. Now, don't get me wrong, you can get variety into your exercise regime. I think probably all the power to you. If you do, I think that would be great. I think the other side of that is that we need to be mindful that to get good at something, to get efficient at running or cycling, for example, we need to do a lot of it over a longer period of time. And we can keep challenging ourselves till we get to a certain level. For example, with running, I could set myself a goal now to run the 5 kilometers first comfortably in 29 minutes. And then, when that is within reach, we'd say, well, I want to shave another minute of that time. And working towards that, it's not going to be done in a week or a month or even 6 months. It could take quite a long time to create the level of fitness and capability required to actually bring my body to that level of performance. But that's where it could be. All right? That's where we could bring it. And we would work towards that for 3 to 6 to 12 months. You can think about this as an elite athlete or an Olympian would. Season to season, what are we working up to? What are we trying to get stronger and better at? And if we have 4 years to prepare for a championship, what are we working on over the course of those 4 years to be in peak performing shape by the time we actually get to the tournament? These are all 12 to 48 month plans, if you think about it. All right? Absolutely fascinating. You don't have to train like an athlete, but you could comfortably adopt the time horizon of an athlete to see the kinds of changes that you would like to see in your health and fitness. And again, making little changes every week. So do sleep 1 week, do something for your nutrition the next week, do something for your workouts the week after, and so forth and so on. As you go through time, you will see that you will probably start noticing you feel different and better, but you won't really understand why. But you'll be sleeping a little bit better, you'll be eating a little bit better, you'll be exercising or moving a little bit better. And bit by bit, you are going to find that your physical ability, mental clarity, is just going to improve and improve in very good ways. There we go. Now, you know what I always say, health and fitness doesn't have to be complicated, but it's not hard. You understand what I mean? It's doing small things over time and understanding that this is a lifelong commitment that we need to have to ourselves, because that's where the joys of health and fitness lie. The ability to do what we want to do every day in life. And we're going up on the end of the mobility routine. We're going to switch to some light core exercises next. That's all good. Daniel, good morning. How are you doing, buddy? I hope you're doing all right. I hope life is treating you well. So you were doing some epic workouts the other day, and I'm not sure you heard me during the other live stream. Whether you linked the channel of your friend Leo Saito with the rotator cuff work. I found some videos. I also have some exercises from the video, but I would like to follow up on that. Good suggestion of yours, if at all possible. Hey, so how are the workouts going? I hope they're doing all right. I trust you're doing all right. In the freezing cold, I believe, showing up and doing some hardcore work. For anyone who's watching, if you're into full body workouts and you want to get some proper health and fitness out of them, check out what Poor Man's Gym does. I think it's pretty impressive what he's capable of doing, and should put some of your own health and fitness ambitions into perspective. Working on the knees so they don't get enough love, I think, in general, but we should actually love and appreciate our knees and our ankles and our wrists and our shoulders a bit more. You know, it's about health, right? It's about health and about fitness. So, looking at what we're capable of doing today, and if we're capable of doing different and a bit more tomorrow, is probably where most of the benefit is at. Alright, just for completion's sake, I'm going to add this one to it. As you can see, I have such a hard time I cannot touch my toes. We are going to, over time, get there, I'm sure. This is one of those things that we need to keep working on. Alright. It is 6 a.m. by the way. So we've been at it for a good little time. Setting the timers to 30 seconds. 500 ring pull-up fill video in the beginning. Alright, very good. Thanks. I will check that out. Of course, very disappointing that you failed at your 500 ring pull-ups. I mean, you know, would have expected you to hit at least 495, right? I'm joking, but I think you understand that. All right, let's get on with the core work. Start off easy, regular old plank. Before we do 2 of McGill's big 3. We're just investing in building that core stability that we want and need for everyday general everyday activities. And I'm adding that little knee tap in there because I want to make sure that I can hold the brace through some movement, through some breathing, through some talking. Of course, you're used to me talking a lot. About every 10 seconds. Just add that little movement and try to keep that spine neutral as we do that. to do a couple of kettlebell swings with the 12 hand-to-hands. We're just going to use that to move, activate the core. There we go. A couple of around the world. See how we are just using the core as the weight pulls us in different directions. Then just stand on one leg for a few seconds with a weight trying to pull us down one side and then the other side. And this side of the core is now working overtime in a good way. It's a 20-kilo challenge. Okay. Take a bit of a break. Do the other side. See where we end up. Then I'm going to have a nice cup of coffee. And we're going to call it a day. Alright? For anyone who's watching, my name's Toby. I'm 40 years old, actually 41. And I train to live an active, self-sufficient and adventurous life. So I show up to do mobility, strength, and conditioning workouts. If that's something you're interested in, go ahead, check out my channel, hit like on this video, subscribe, and we can continue the conversation. How to stay fit and healthy for life, alright? This is important. It matters. You'll thank me in 30 years. Alright. Let's see. We have 2 more exercises for core that we are going to be doing. And then we're going to call it a day. First one, you know the drill. I'm just going to be dragging that weight around in different directions, trying to stay as fit and healthy and comfortable as we can. And the last one. There we go. 43 minutes, friends. This morning, 43 minutes of moving, telling parts of our body, hey, wake up. We need to be able to do these things if we want to be capable and able in life. Thanks for dropping by. Poor man's Jim Daniel. Appreciate you jumping on chat. Going to look up the video right after. Anyone else who's watching, thanks for dropping by, filling out the poll. I hope you're doing well today. Remember, we're good just the way we are. We've got to love ourselves before we can move on. And the only way to get anything done is by showing up and doing the work. So I'll see you tomorrow for another workout. Take care, friends. Stay well.